144 terabytes, $2,600. And no, that's not a typo. Most people building storage servers face the same nightmare. Add a new drive and then wait up to 2 days or more for the RAID to rebuild. Something goes wrong and you risk losing everything. This setup takes 2 minutes to rebuild. Just add a new drive and it works. And yes, this can handle multiple 4K transcodes on hardware from 2016. Let me show you the hardware, the build, and the benchmarks. Let's jump right into it. My friend's got a problem that's probably familiar to you. 15 years of family photos, a Jellyfin library that keeps growing, a new container every other week. And right now, all of that is spread across 2 external drives, a low-power aging server, and whatever free space is left on his desktop. He needs real storage, not another patch job, not another NAS that will be full in 6 months. A setup that starts today at 144 terabytes and can grow up to 576 without ever having to rebuild. So here's what we're building. Now, let me show you why we chose this approach. 3 decisions make this build completely different from any TrueNAS or Unraid box you've ever seen. Decision number 1, go old on purpose. These Xeons right here, they're 10 cores each and $31 on eBay. The modern equivalent, at least $400 each. And here's where it gets crazy. We're putting half a terabyte of RAM, just that's half a terabyte, 512 gigabytes of DDR3 ECC memory for $410. Try getting that in DDR5 and your wallet will explode. And performance? These CPUs won't be the problem. You'll see why later. Decision number 2, 24 hot swap base. Yes. And right now we have 6 24 terabyte drives. When he needs more, just add drives of any size, any brand at any time. You buy drives when you need them at the best possible price. Decision number 3, and this is the game changer. MergerFS with SnapRAID. You can mix whatever drives you've hoarded over the years. It's free, it's flexible, and it uses almost no system resources. Meanwhile, TrueNAS wants matching drives, it's all your RAM, and rebuild can take over 48 hours. Unraid is flexible, sure, but it's $129 and still needs 24 to 48 hours to rebuild. So what's the catch? SnapRAID Parity runs on a schedule. Every day, every hour, whatever you pick. For media library and family photos, that's just perfect. For mission critical production workflows, just stick with ZFS. But here's what you get back with this setup. Adding a new drive to MergerFS, it takes 2 minutes, not 2 days. If a drive fails, you only lose the files on that drive, not the whole array. SnapRAID rebuilds just what was lost, quick and surgical. That's the trade-off. Real-time protection versus insane flexibility. For this build, flexibility wins every single time. And yes, I'm going to show you that 2-minute expansion live. But first, let's put this thing together. All right, let's build this. First, we're gonna put the CPUs in. Dual Xeon, 10 core, 20 threads. Second CPU goes in. Now our 512 gig sticks of RAM are going in. And for the coolers we're using, the Noctua NHU12. Those are fairly standard for this socket and they're extremely good. Now that the motherboard is ready to go into the chassis, we're gonna put it in. Okay, our motherboard is in with a little bit of struggle. This is a very tight fit. Everything is fine. Now we're just gonna screw it in and put the cooler fans. DDR3. Okay, so RAID card is in, and now for the secret sauce, our GPU. And for our GPU, it's an RTX 3060. This is the secret sauce, but wait until the end so that you can see what we're going to do with this. All right, our GPU is in and our front IO is connected. Now the last piece of the puzzle here is our boot drive, and we're going to use our two 2 terabyte crucial SSDs. This is going to serve as our boot drive and they're going to be mirrored in RAID 1. All right guys, the server is almost done and now we're going to the main event, which is the hard drive. This is my favorite part because it's just satisfying to hear them click in. Drive number 2 goes in, goes in. Goes in. Drive number 5 goes in. So that is 144 terabytes, 6 24 terabyte drive, and we have plenty of space for expansion. And now for the moment of truth. If it doesn't post, I'm gonna be really sad. We're gonna have to spend the next hour pulling out DIMMs. And we got it. At least it looks like we got it. Okay, looking for the drives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. And we're good. Awesome. We're in business. Now, is all the RAM ready to go? We have to see if the 512 gigs of RAM is recognized. And look at that. 512 gigs of DDR3 at 1866 megahertz speed. Now, for the part where this build actually becomes a server, we're installing Fedora. And let me explain why. You might default to Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is great, a huge community and tons of tutorials, but I personally prefer Fedora for this build. The package manager is something that I find cleaner, faster, and way easier to use. Fedora also ships with a very up-to-date kernel, you get better support for all their hardware, and when it's time to move to the next release, you can just upgrade in place. No wipe, no reinstall. You get modern features without turning the system into a science project. The installation is only going to take 5 minutes, I'm just gonna fast forward, and I'm going to show you just the most important parts. Okay, so we're going to choose our drives. Here we have our 2 SATA SSD. To select both of them, we need to click on custom and we click on done. We're going to go with a simple partition. We're going to remove the home. The first partition is our boot EFI. I'm just going to give it a bit more of storage here. And we're going to choose our type of partition as RAID. And we're going to do RAID 1. Then we're going to do the same thing for our boot partition. And then we're going to do our root partition. Here we can just select the entire capacity that we need. We're going to choose RAID also, and we're going to choose RAID 1. We're going to click on done. Then we're going to configure our root account. So just create a regular root account, put your password in. We're going to allow root SSH. So I'm going to say done again to use a weak password. Now we're going to choose our Fedora edition, Fedora custom operating system, basic building blocks. I'm going to click on done. Now we just click on begin installation and we're ready to go. So that's the minimal installation, no GUI, just the base systems. And now we're going to configure. Okay, so now we're booted into the system and it's time to configure it quickly. For a full MergerFS and SnapRAID tutorial, I'll link the videos down below. So first, we're formatting the drive. Okay, now we're installing MergerFS. And now mounting and pulling everything together. And now we're adding SnapRAID for protection. Okay, now moment of truth. And look at that, guys. 88 terabytes came out of nowhere and we haven't even tried to break it yet. All right, time to break this thing. 4 4K transcodes simultaneously going in right now. Starting transcode number 1. Starting transcode number 2. Starting transcode number 3. Starting transcode number 4. Come on. Okay, as we can see here, the video is transcoding. We have 78 FPS. Transcode number 2, it's still going. Playback info, it's also transcoding at 54 FPS. Transcode number 3, it's still going. Transcoding at 64 FPS. Transcode number 4, it's also transcoding at 52 FPS. Now let's check out the metrics on the server. And look at this, the CPU is barely doing anything. It's idling between 5 and 6%. Now look at this. This is what's doing all the work. You said all Xeons can handle 4K, and you're right. The GPU is doing all the heavy lifting. Now, RAM, we're using about 5 gigs right now. Look at the cache working. And yes, this is where the big RAM pool actually helps. Not because you need 512 gigs, but because at this price, turning it into a giant read cache is just fun. We had some issues with defect RAM modules, so we ended up installing 128 gigs for this demo. Now let's check out the network. It's doing about 24 to 25 megabits per second for 4K streams. Hardware from 10 years ago, and the system is completely unfazed. But wait, do you remember when I said we can add drives in 2 minutes? Okay, so watch this. Drive is going in. Server is on. Watch this. 2 minutes on the clock. Let's go. All right. First, we need to know which is our new drive. And our new drive is SDF 7 terabytes. We're going to create the partition first. So fdisk /def SDF. New GPT partition. New partition. We remove the signature. We write the partition. Perfect. Second, we create our XFS file system /dev SDF 1. Come on, XFS. Let's go. And yes, I'm using a cheat sheet. Okay, so now we create our mount point. This is going to be disk number 5. Now we need to know the UID of our new SDF disk, so grep SDF. Perfect, we got our UID. Now we edit our FS tab. All right, def disk by UUID. We paste our new UID, MNT disk 5, XFS, defaults, 0 and 0. We save our file, daemon reload. We unmount our MergerFS mount point first. We mount our new disk. We edit our SnapRAID configuration file. Okay, so this is going to be disk number 5. And now we're going to mount the new mount point, storage. Perfect. And let's see if we got the expansion. And look at that, 93 terabytes. Before we had 86, now we have 93. So, and on the clock we have 2 seconds. So yes, we can expand this under 2 minutes. All right, we just built something insane. 0 rebuild time when adding new drives. Man, this thing works. But what if you want to run a Windows VM on the server, set up GPU pass-through for gaming, or build a complete virtualization lab? Well, I've got a video on GPU pass-through with Proxmox that will show you exactly how to turn this into a gaming rig and a server. It's basically the best of both worlds. Link in the description and on screen right now. Also, join the Discord community. We're building, fixing, and geeking out over there. Link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.